Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. MTG Box Analysis here to take a look at Ravnica Remastered in the draft booster box form. So we've got 36 packs and this is the last draft booster box that Wizards of the Coast or Magic will produce. After this, we're moving on to play boosters. So let's go ahead and crack this thing open. Let's see how many Shocklands you actually get in one of these draft boxes and see what other reprint goodies we're going to find. So we've got ourselves a little insert here with the draft archetypes. That's nice. And then we've got 36 booster packs. Now, the main difference between these and collector booster packs, besides the price and the number of foils that you're going to see, is that this particular product, right, the draft booster pack, can only see 435 of the cards out of the 466 card set. It is missing the 10 borderless Shocklands, and there are 21 retro frames that you cannot pull inside of a draft booster pack. However, they are not extremely high value retro frames, so you're really just missing out on the Shocklands. So let's go ahead and open up these 36 packs and see what kind of value we can find. Hopefully you're enjoying the set. It is release weekend. So here we go. We got ourselves an Elf Knight, followed by an Azorius Guildgate. And then we're going to see ourselves a Crackling Drake in retro. And behind that, we're going to start off with a Mythic Nicol Bolas Dragon God. Very cool to see that. And then we're going to see ourselves a Golgari Thug, followed by a Worm Weaver Coil. Then we've got ourselves a Devouring Light with a Greater Moss Dog, Mephitic Vapors with a Gather Courage. Then we're going to see a Basilica Guards, followed by a Leapfrog. Then we're going to see a Deputy of Acquittals, followed by a Burning Prophet, Call of the Conclave, and a Debtor's Transport. All right, so we're going to go through a couple of packs, card by card, and then we'll, through the power of fast forward, I'll stop talking and just kind of let the cards go through, but we'll always go through all of the rares and mythics. All right, so we got ourselves an Angel token, followed by a Gruul Guildgate. Then we're going to see ourselves a Krenko's Command coming in retro with an Illusionist Bracers coming in as our main set rare, followed by a Sphinx of New Prov with an Izzet Charm, Silencia Guildmage, Morning Thrall. Then we're going to see an Open the Gates, followed by Sahala Ledgewalker. Then we're going to see Eyes in the Sky with a Compulsive Research, Totally Lost, followed by a Burning Tree Vandal. And we're going to see ourselves a Sewer Shambler with an Undercity's Embrace. So far, no anime borderless. However, you are eligible to see those inside of draft packs. Currently, the most valuable is the Cyclonic Rift. It'll probably stay that way. I can't see anything else taking over the top spot. So we got ourselves a Spirit here, followed by an Izzet Guildgate. We're going to see our first foil of the box, and that's going to be a Macabre Waltz, just a common, followed by a Call of the Conclave. And then behind that, we're going to see ourselves a Find and Finality coming in as our main set rare, with a Cartel Aristocrat, a Skullcrack, Golgari Guildmage. Then we're going to see a Wild Cantor, followed by a Siege Worm, with an Armory Guard. Then we're going to see a Helium Squirter, followed by a Summary Judgment. And then we're going to see a Rubble Belt Maca, followed by a Gob Hoarder Rats and a Burglar Rat. All right, moving into pack number 4 here. Hopefully we do get to see some Shocklands in this box. We got ourselves the Centaur, followed by a Gruul Signet. Then we're going to see ourselves a Stitch in Time Rare Retro Frame, followed by a Moldervine Cloak. Then we're going to see a Mausoleum Turnkey with an Azorius Guildmage, Mortis Strider, Arboreal Grazer, Titanic Brawl, Karam, followed by Casmina's Transmutation, Conclave Equinaut with a Repeal. Then we're going to see ourselves a Dogpile with a Coiling Oracle and a Blade Juggler. All right, we got ourselves a Saproling with a Golgari Guildmage. And then we're going to see ourselves a foil retro Dimir Houseguard, not a high value, just a common. Then we're going to see ourselves a Gutter Snipe, followed by a Guardian Project coming in the anime borderless. It's going to be a pretty decent hit for us, valued over $10 right now on release weekend. We'll see if that holds. All right, this one's going to kick off with a token of Domri Raid, followed by a Rakdos Guildgate. Then we're going to see a Golgari Guildgate in retro with an Infernal Tutor coming in as our main set rare. Got ourselves the Elf Knight, followed by a Silencia Signet. Then we're going to see a Crackling Drake coming in foil with Tolsimir Wolfblood coming in as a retro rare. And then we're going to see ourselves to arms. No shock lands yet, not in standard frame or retro frame. Let's see if we can change that. So we got a Spirit with a Simic Guildgate, followed by a Cloudfin Raptor in retro with Priest of Forgotten Gods. Wow, just a drought on shock lands. Got the Spirit, followed by Dimir Guildgate. Then we're going to see ourselves a Mayhem Devil in retro with a Void Slime coming in as our main set rare. There's Rhythm of the Wild, probably the best uncommon in the set. Got ourselves the Saproling, followed by the Dimir Signet. Then we're going to see Niv-Mizzet Param coming in as our retro rare. All right, we're sliding into pack number 11. Still no shock lands. I'm getting extremely nervous for this box. Got ourselves the Worm, followed by, there we go, finally. I complain enough and I finally get one. So we got ourselves the Godless Shrine. Very good shock land. We'll take it. Followed by a Kiora's Dam Breaker coming in foil with a Silencia Guildgate in retro and a Mizzet's Mastery coming in as our main set rare. All right, final pack in stack number 1, pack number 12. Got ourselves a Bird, followed by a Boros Guildgate. Then we're going to see an Izzet Guildgate in retro with a Phytohydra as our main set rare. All right, let's take a half a second and move some of these common uncommons over here and start ourselves a new pile. I'm hoping for 5 shock lands. That's my goal for the box. We'll see if it's possible. So we got a Saproling with a Dimir Guildgate. Then we're going to see Debt to the Deathless coming in as a foil retro. Then we've got ourselves some Compulsive Research with a Stitch in Time as our main set rare. All right, this pack's going to start off with an Angel token. Then we're going to see ourselves a Boros Guildgate with a Legionnaire Warboss retro rare. All right, this one starts off with an Elf Knight. Then we're going to see ourselves a Rakdos Signet, followed by a Boros Guildgate in retro with Philbit the Lost coming in as an anime borderless. Very cool to see that. Even though Philbit isn't a high value, I do appreciate the artwork on the card. And behind that, we're going to see ourselves a Golgari Thug. So 2 borderless anime, but only 1 shock land. That's a little surprising. I would have thought the pull rates would have been the inverse, especially since everyone keeps saying shock lands are going to go to $1. I personally don't believe that. I think they'll stay around $6 to $10, depending upon the frame. But that would be my guess for standard frame. So we got ourselves a Saproling with a Simic Guildgate. Then we're going to see ourselves a Goblin Electromancer with an Assure and an Assemble coming in as our main set rare. Got the Spirit with an Azorius Guildgate, and then we're going to see ourselves a Bottled Cloister retro rare. I don't like that when you get a retro rare, you don't get a second rare. I don't appreciate that. Getting pretty close to the halfway point of the box. This one's going to start off with a Zombie. And then we're going to see ourselves a Boros Signet with a foil Scab Clan Mauler. And then behind that, we're going to see ourselves a Loaming Shaman retro with a Copy Enchantment coming in as our main set rare. All right, let's go ahead and fix our pile since we are at the halfway point. Just to make sure we're looking good. We still only have 2 mythics for this box, 2 borderless animes, and only 1 shock land. Very surprising. Low value draft box so far. Got ourselves the Goblin, followed by a Gruul Guildgate. Then we're going to see a Skewer the Critics in retro with an Assemble the Legion as our main set rare. This one's going to kick off with the Rhino. And behind that, we're going to see ourselves a Blood Crypt. Very nice to see this. This is going to be probably the second or third most valuable shockland of the series. So welcome to see that. And then behind that, we're going to see ourselves an Azorius Guildgate in retro with Lazav the Multifarious coming in as our main set rare. All right, we got ourselves another Sapperling with a Simic Signet. And then behind that, we're going to see ourselves a Silencia Signet coming in a foil with a Stomping Ground Retro. Very nice to see that. If you haven't checked out my collector booster box, I have a very special version of the Stomping Ground found in that box. Behind that, we're going to see ourselves a Farseek. All right, feeling a little bit better now that we're at 3 shocks. 1 retro, 2 standard frame. This pack kicks off with an Elf Knight, followed by a Golgari Guildgate. Then we're going to see ourselves a Putrefy with a Legion Warboss coming in as our rare. All right, we got ourselves a Wolf Token, followed by a Gruul Signet. And then we're going to see ourselves Debtor's Transport coming in as a foil, with an Arborea Grazer as a retro, and then behind that we're going to see Prime Speaker Zagana coming in as an anime borderless card. Very cool to see this. Just valued over $1 right now, but that's our 3rd borderless anime of the box. Then we're going to see ourselves a Stab Wound. All right, final pack in stack number 2, pack number 24. Got ourselves the Spirit again with a Silencia Guildgate. And then we're going to see ourselves a Deathrat Shaman rare retro coming in. All right, that takes us 2/3 of the way through the box. Moving into our last stack of 12, and then we'll jump into the MTG box analysis, where we'll go over coverage of the set, the total box contents, a look at the set value, and then we'll jump into what kind of value did we actually see out of this box. So we got the Spirit, followed by a Silencia Guildgate, and then we're going to see ourselves our first foil rare, which is a Sword of Perunes coming in. And so behind that, we're going to see ourselves a Retro Mythic Guardian Project. Very cool to see that. Definitely one of the cards to get out of this set. Then we're going to see ourselves a Muddle the Mixture. All right, we've got ourselves a Sphinx token with an Orzhov Signet. And behind that, we're going to see ourselves Drift of Phantasms coming in as a retro with a Repudiate and Replicate coming in as a split rare, followed by a Plaguecrafter. All right, we got the old Elf Knight with an Azorius Guildgate. Then we're going to see ourselves a Quicken, followed by an Ilharg the Razeboar coming in as a Mythic. Very nice to see that. All right, we got ourselves the Bird Illusion with an Orzhov Guildgate. And then we're going to see ourselves a foil Mausoleum Turnkey coming in with a Cinder Vines as a rare retro. Yet another Sapperling token with a Gruul Guildgate. Then we're going to see ourselves the Ledgewalker coming in retro with a Domri Raid coming in the anime treatment. Very nice to see that. Another Mythic for us. Then we're going to see ourselves the Shark to Crab. All right, we got the Goblin, followed by an Azorius Signet. Then we're going to see ourselves a Frilled Mystic with Borbagamos Enraged coming in as our rare. All right, we are down to 6 packs. We've gone through 30. We got ourselves 4 anime borderless and 3 shocklands. Got ourselves an alternate Goblin token here with a Rakdos Guildgate, followed by a foil Seal of the Guild Pack retro frame. And then behind that, we're going to see ourselves Face Fetters in retro with a Domri Raid, another mythic, this time in the non-anime treatment. All right, Saproling with an Overgrown Tomb. Very nice to see that. Now we're up to 4 Shocklands. No repeats so far. And then behind that, we're going to see a Sword of Perunes coming in non-foil retro. All right, 4 packs to go. I really want to see one more Shockland just so I can say I met the goal of 5 for the box. So we got the Spirit, followed by Golgari Guildgate. Then we're going to see Dimir Guildgate with a Quasi Duplicate. All right, 3 final packs, 3 final chances for either another anime or another Shockland. So we got ourselves the Rhino with an Izzet Signet. Then we're going to see a Coiling Oracle with a Revival and Revenge coming in as our split rare. Counting it down, 2 packs to go. Got ourselves the Bird with an Izzet Guildgate and a foil Forced Adaptation with a retro rare Massacre Girl. Very nice to see that. Final draft booster pack of the box, and then we'll just jump right into the analysis. All right, so we got the Centaur token, followed by a Golgari Signet, so we're not going to see our 5 Shocklands. Behind that, we're going to see ourselves an Experiment 1 with a Birds of Paradise coming in. Good hit from the main set. Then we get a Civic Saber with a Skullcrack, Mayhem Devil, Vernati Shieldmate with a Gather Courage. Then we're going to see Merfolk of the Depths with a Bulwark Giant, a Fresh-Faced Recruit, a Repeal, Debtor's Transport, Burning Prophet, and a Last Grasp. All right, I'll get it all sorted, organized, and be right back with the MTG box analysis. Let's get things started by reviewing the contents of the box. Using this chart, we can see the set shaded in gray, the foils we observed in orange, and the non-foils in green. In the non-foil space, we saw between 63 and 68 cards for each of the colors of Magic, along with 1 retro frame per pack and 4 borderless anime. In the foil space, we saw a total of 12 cards, 9 were standard frame, and 3 were retro frame. Moving into coverage, in the non-foil space, we saw 263 unique cards from the 435 cards we were eligible to see, which gave us 60% coverage. Our highest coverage among the colors of Magic was in red with 88%. In the foil space, we saw 12 unique cards, which gave us 3% coverage of the cards that we were eligible to see. This time around, our highest coverage among the colors of Magic was in black with 9%. Pivoting the coverage by rarity, in today's box we saw 95% of the commons and 84% of the uncommons that we were eligible to see in non-foil. We also saw 33 of the 139 rares for 24% coverage and 6 non-foil mythics for 13% coverage. In the foil space we saw 4% of the commons and 3% of the uncommons, along with 2 foil rares good enough for 1% coverage. From a duplication standpoint, this box contained 139 cards that were repeated 256 times for a box duplication rate of 49% with 23 playsets. Before getting into the value of today's box, let's take a look at the current value of the set. Now, it's still pretty early, but this chart displays all 435 cards that you can pull from a draft pack using non-foil market prices as of January 14th, 2024. Currently, the set contains 27 cards valued over $10, with 9 in standard frame, 13 in retro frame, and 5 in borderless anime. The set also contains 30 cards valued between $5 and $10 and 77 cards in the $1 to $5 range. The other 301 cards in the set are all valued under $1. A full set of the 435 cards has a current market value of $943.09. I'll be keeping an eye on the value of these cards over the coming weeks and will report back on the set's value trend as it develops. Now let's begin to recap the actual observed value that we saw in today's box, starting off with a look at the non-foils. In today's box, we saw 3 cards valued over $10. We saw the Guardian Project, the Retro Frame Stomping Ground, and the Blood Crypt in standard frame. We also picked up 2 more Shocklands and a Retro Frame Guardian Project in the $5 to $10 range. We also saw 19 cards valued between $1 and $5, but the remaining 503 non-foils in the box are currently all valued under $1. In the foil space, we nearly struck out, not seeing a single foil valued over $5. We were fortunate, though, to see 3 foils valued over $1, but the other 9 foils in the box were all valued under $1. So how did this box perform? Well, the market price for this box as of January 14th is $164.44. The Ravnica Remastered Draft Booster Box contains 36 packs, each with 15 cards, allowing you to see 540 cards plus tokens. Now, the 36 tokens that we saw today have a current market value of $12.01. The 28 Guild Gates that we picked up are valued at $4.37. The 340 commons have a current value of $43.26, and the 131 uncommons are valued at $42.20. The 35 rares that we pulled are valued at $90.53, and the 6 mythics are valued at $30.61. Add it all up, and the grand total for this box comes up to be $222.98 in card market value, which is a gain of $58.54 over the market price for the box, and means that this box returned 136% of the market price in card value. Now, for those of you interested in cards valued just over $2, the numbers look like this. In total, we saw 19 cards valued over $2 in this box, and they have a current combined value of $108.95, which means that those 19 cards represent 49% of the total box value, but only 66% of the market price for the box. Based on watching several other Ravnica Remastered draft box openings, I'd say we had a pretty average box. Considering its release weekend, the prices are traditionally at their highest right now. I expect that we'll see the draft boxes come down in price over the next few weeks as the single card prices come down. The verdict is still out on the collector booster boxes. However, the exclusivity of the borderless Shocklands and the 32,000 serialized cards might be enough to sustain their market price of around $255. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, do something amazing. Get early access to videos, download the analysis for every box open on the channel, and personally DM me, just like these fine people, all by becoming a member of the channel through YouTube or over at mtgboxanalysis.com. You'll find links in the description. Until next time, do something amazing.